Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. I am beginning our IYIP Technical Assistance session today. I was just showing Carrie Reuter the new PPR where we are, and she's made a couple of suggestions. So that is really good for you guys because she liked it and just has a couple of small suggestions, filters that she wanted for it. So that's really good. I can take your questions now. If you have anything that we need to talk about that can be talked about for the whole group, we can continue recording. Otherwise, we need to stop the recording and answer questions. So,
Dee, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, you may.
I'm just curious, was today the first time where we had to register to be?
Yes, okay. Because Zoom changed their stuff effective today.
Okay. So this is the format from moving forward.
Correct. But
okay.
Once you register for the series, you'll be registered for all of the series. So then you'll just have to click on where it says register and it will let you join the meeting.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hey, Dee, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we talked about it in the last meeting, but we having a hard time with the 101 activities. Even after verifying the participant in Illinois WorkNet, the participants seem they can't get past like 50%, 75%. It's like a repeat of the career plans or, the different plans that they have to set up. It's like they cannot get off that page unless we log out.
So they're not able to get. They're not able to get into the. They're not able to get into the DHS Youth Career Plan.
No, they get into the plan. It's in the activity, but once they get into it, it have them to keep doing different plans, and it'd be a repeat of the same plan. So if you look at their page, inside their page under their name, under the plans, you'll see that they have a list of ones that they done made up. That's a repeat, and it won't move from that step.
All right, so Shanna, I have to go live to a customer to check that.
Okay.
So I don't want to record that.
Okay.
So let me see if there's any other questions and then we'll come back to that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else have any questions? Whoa, wait a minute. Who's talking?
I'm sorry, I'll wait.
I'm sorry, Dee. I just had a quick statement.
Sure.
We were having the same issues with Employment 101. And what we found is if we have the participant log out, because sometimes it kicks them out automatically, but completely log out of Illinois WorkNet, restart the computer, then go back in, they're able to progress and complete Employment 101.
That's a good tip, Tracy. Shannon, why don't you try to have them do that and see if that helps. But then the other thing too is they need to make sure that they're selecting the right career plan on the step. They need to look at the button and I'll show you what that button looks like. All right, Darrell, what were you going to ask?
So, so we, one of our pay periods that we uploaded, the beginning of the pay period and end date was a typo. So Makia corrected it and uploaded the correct one because we can't delete once we've uploaded. So I don't know if we just let you know that or
you can send me that and I'll get it deleted out of the database. All right. Who else has a question that we can continue to record?
Hello, Dee. This is Anthony Walker with Angel God Resource Center.
Yes, sir.
I have a question regarding working with clients that we have placed, and then we're getting
Did your
feedback
microphone
from
just
the
go out?
employers really participating. No, I think it went out and came back in, but I was saying that we're able to place a few people, but now we're starting to get feedback from the employers just saying that the clients are calling off, they're not wanting to really work. So what suggestions can you give us on how to, you know, better handle that situation where we have individuals that we're able to place, but then they start work and then they just, for whatever reason, they don't go to work or they start calling off. I know you really can't control that, but do you have any suggestions on how we might deal with situations like that?
Is it work experience or is it permanent employment?
Permanent employment.
Are you subsidizing their wage?
No.
Then I'm a tough love advocate. My suggestion to you would be is to have a conversation with them based on the phone call that you've gotten from the employer and say, if this behavior continues, you will be losing your job. Because
Well, we've had that conversation with them, but it seems to not like falling on deaf ears, almost as if, well, if I lose it, I lose it. And I'll just come back and start all over again. So, I mean, that's a little tough one to kind of really pinpoint how to deal with. But I mean, we're experiencing that now. And I don't know if it's because they're just not interested or they say they want to work, but then when they get the job, they're realizing that, hey, this job stuff is a commitment. I can't hang out with my friends. I can't, do the stuff that I used to do and just wait on mama to give me some money to go to the mall. So I'm just kind of baffled. And we've been dealing with this now with a couple clients for a little bit. And it's like we have these one-on-ones with them. We try and encourage them, but nothing seems to be working at this point. And I was just wondering if you had anything that you might be able to share that we might be able to maybe try or look at a different avenue with.
Dominique said maybe more job coaching. And then we have, Brandon shared some information about a new grant opportunity coming up. We'll let him talk about that. Anybody else have any suggestion? Are you going through the whole process of making sure that they're getting into a job that they would enjoy, like the career selection piece?
Well, when we were having that conversation with them, they were really excited about going to work at Walgreens. And then it started out good, but then it's like the employers saying, hey, the individuals send me, they're calling off, they're doing no shows, and we're reaching out to the client and saying, hey, what's going on? Is there an issue that we need to kind of help you address? Is it, something that we could do to kind of ease that burden of you, where you can actually get to work and do the job? I mean, because it's a relatively easy job from what I understand, and it has benefits and perks. So, I mean, if they're not ready to really work and they say they are, we won't know until they start working. And then we get that phone call, say, hey, the guy you sent us or the girl you sent us, they're just not working out. And we don't want to be sending clients that are not going to work out, because then that burns that bridge and they're saying, well, maybe we don't want to take clients from you guys because, we keep getting these same kind of, as Ms. Smith say, data do people. And we don't want it to just do, we want it to be successful and for them to be able to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, Camilla suggested revisiting the job readiness training or lose the position. Do you track their attendance and their participation when they're in the classroom setting?
In the classroom setting, but they've gone from the classroom setting to being, employed. So we don't really see them like that. If they have an issue or, when we do follow-up checks, we can find out information, but we don't have them like in a class setting and then they go to work. They're just, they're permanent employees.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering is like, while they're going through Employment 101, while they're going through the Casey Life Skills Assessment, while they're doing what would be considered seat time, what's their reaction during that time period? And I know it's different than actually being on a job, but.
Yeah, well, when we have them in that classroom setting, I mean, everything's a green go. It's like they're energized, they're motivated. They seem to be happy with what it is that we're trying to get them to see and follow. But then when they get to the actual job, where they're making their own money, it seems to be a little different. I know it's just a case by case scenario, but I was just wondering, is there anything out there that maybe someone else has experienced with kids in COVID?
Do they, are they subsidized at all?
No, this is unsubsidized placement.
And if the employer partner is still reaching out to you to help with them, but they unsubsidized, then the only thing y'all could do is offer back in the basis of when they starting with the job readiness training and the coaching. Sometimes that 90-day of subsidized is good to give them a trial and error to see if they're going to be a good fit. And then the employer can decide whether they want to take them on permanently after like 90 days to see how they're going to act on the work environment. Because of course, when they want to get in the job, they're going to do everything and say, yeah, I'll do it and complete it.
Absolutely.
But then once they on their own, they're not holding on to that commitment. So well, that's what we do at our monsters. We subsidize for 90 days first. And if you can't get past that 90 days, then I know I need to either redirect you in somewhere other direction or put you with a different employer. So to keep the relation with the employer partner and not to disappoint the kid, but give them a realistic expectation that you can't just get on the job site and do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Okay.
And
I see a lot of heads nodding.
This is Bernadine, and I'd like to share our experience from this past summer with our summer group, which were high school students. And we actually had 3 students that we had to terminate. We met with the employer, we talked to the students several times, and they did not want to adhere to the policies of the job. And so they were terminated, and it was a fantastic lesson for these young people. And so moving forward, and so in the real world, sometimes the maturity is not there. They're not ready for the work world. And maybe they come back around at a later date. But we had 3 students age 17. 3 of them were terminated. And they learned. It was a great lesson for them.
LaDon suggested more coaching, incentives for length of employment milestones, revisiting benefits of sustained employment and tying that to financial employment. Tracy agrees with everything that Camilla said. So there's some good suggestions there, Anthony.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions that we can answer while we're recording? All right, I'm going to end the recording for now. And then we'll ask the individual questions here. Let's